Introducing the all-new Corolla.
It was a victory last night at the Civil Service Commission for the first of 7 Port Authority employees to have their case heard in a year-and-a-half-old controversy. Lenora Leon Guerrero is accused of falsifying the documents used in former Port Marketing Manager Bernadette Stern-Menno's workers' compensation claim. Last night, 5 of the 6 commissioners voted to dismiss the charges of adverse action against Leon Guerrero. Attorney Levin Camacho represented her in the case.
It's bittersweet almost. We won at the CSC level, but it's been about a year and a half that my client hasn't had a job at the port. So that affects her family. I mean, one day you're working at the port, the next day you're not, and she was wrongfully terminated.
Camacho says the CSC's ruling means that the port will have to give Leon Guerrero her job back. But Port Authority legal counsel Mike Phillips says he'll wait for the formal decision before confirming whether that will happen. Phillips, who was unavailable for an on-camera interview today, says port management could still decide to appeal the case, depending on what the actual judgment states. But Camacho is considering this a victory for his client, and while he doesn't represent the other 6 fired workers, he says Leon Guerrero's case could make a difference for them too.
Every case is going to be different, and they've made different allegations against the different people that were terminated. But I do think that they're going to have to really consider the credibility of their own witnesses, and also just look at what punishments they dealt out again. You know, you have 6, 7 people that lost their jobs, and my read on it is that the commissioners didn't believe there was enough evidence to support it.
But the port believes the documents were falsified. During a phone call with PNC this morning, Phillips said that while the commissioners did vote in Leon Guerrero's favor, quote, no one said she didn't do it. Phillips believes the ruling was made because the commissioners believed that it would have been unfair for her to not keep her job when 2 others implicated in the case were able to keep theirs. Phillips is referring to Paul Salas and Frank Roberto, who kept their jobs because they cooperated with the port's investigation. Camacho maintains his client's innocence, however, and says he's pleased with the CSC's ruling last night.
This is one of those cases where you know that your client has been wronged, and I'm happy for Lenora, and I know that she's really ready to move on. This has been kind of hanging over her. No one wants to have their name dragged through the mud or to be fired for something that they didn't do when they didn't do anything wrong. So again, you know, she's very pleased with it, and she's ready to move forward and put this all behind her.
The next of the 7 fired port workers scheduled to have their merits on the case heard with the CSC is Josette Javalosa. Her hearing is set for Tuesday, July 22nd at 5:45 p.m. Betsy Brown, PNC News.